hello. WIP Wednesdays. Waka waka. Wowwy'z Workshop. I'm Wowy. This is the workshop. And you're here. Thank you. Everybody, can you hear me? What is up? Oh, Amy Jo just got here. Hey, tribe, much love. I'll be here, but in the background for a little while trying to finish that box. Awesome. We just appreciate just sitting back and listening there, Amy Jo. Amy Jo. What have you seen? Yeah, what do you know? Amy Jo. Oh! What you talk about a UFO? No, I won't sing the whole song. There is a whole song. If you don't know, I made a couple Amy Jo shows, and they're in the... There's a playlist in my playlists about my carving family, and it's all sorts of stuff in there. Tribe mail, and it's where I feature other wood carvers and members of the tribe, and it's just awesome. You'll find the Amy Jo show. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Loud and clear, says Big Daddy Mike Matthews. Hello, Mike Matthews. I've been loving your work, sir. Keep shining, man. You're doing great. Who else we got here? We got Grumpy. We got Tim. Black Widow Woodworking is here. Hello. Thank you. Faithful Mod Squad. My brother is there. Darren Dibb. Thank you, Darren. How's it going, bro? Okay. Oh, Pete's here. He's saying hi to Darren. Happy curmudgeon, Matthew. Thank you for coming back, sir. Oh, man. I get excited about this stuff. I wonder if it's better if you saw less ceiling. Let me do it. Whoa. Well, hello. That might be a bit better. A little less ceiling, you know. A little less ceiling. A little more bing. Bing. Oh, there she is, folks. There's Bing. And that's what we're going to be working on her a little bit. We're going to be talking about some really, really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff today, guys. Everybody say hey and hello. And so I saw Perry's there. Baron Bosley just got here with the heck yeah. Thanks for popping in. I did pop into Josh's earlier. Creation.777 said hello, and then I got stuff. Oh, it's just crazy in the background here. I got two little fuzzy idiots on strings attached in the backyard. My cat's in a harness, and I got Poppy always faithfully by my side. And my day is just, basically following these two nitwits around and tending to them. Little fuzzies. Bing! Bing is here! And I got some cool news about old Bing there. It's a cool story. It's one of those stories where it's like, it's kind of woo, but Wowy is woo. I'm woo. Through and through. I believe. So, the fact that we had this piece just chilling, waiting. Well, I can just show it to you. I don't know what I'm doing, not telling you. I mentioned it before. That my brother had given me this. It's an old clock. An old Burr slab clock, right? And I said, I knew that was upstairs, and I was saying in my last live that I wonder if that would work. Well, you guys, look at the shape of it. This freaking Burr slab fits this thing in such a way, in such a perfect way. And then, even for the little arm that extends there, it makes for a spot. Because I'm thinking little mushrooms and stuff, Maybe on Bing's back. I'm thinking the forest floor is alive. And, it's just perfect. It's freaking perfect, Darren. Ow! Ow! Shit, that stuff makes me... Oh, I'm sorry if Allie is watching, little Allie. I'm sorry, I swore. Isn't that a match? That's going to be its base. I think, I wanted to get everybody's... I'll zoom in and stuff in a little bit after I'm done rambling, because I gotta do this in little sections here. So I got stuff to cover, important things. So that's what we'll be pissing around with that today. I I don't know if it's got like that thick gloss, man, that 70s gloss, you know. So I don't know if I should take that off or what to do. I could spray matte over it. That is a technique, like a Rust-Oleum matte, and it takes down the. But I'm thinking, like, I use flock. I don't know if you guys are familiar with flock, but it's like powdered velvet or satin, something. But you use a paint, a special thick paint, and then you use a little puffer, and you put flock on things, and it's usually, you know, like traditionally it's on the bottom of like a shelf, those shelves, you know, bookends and stuff on the bottom, that green powdery stuff. Well, that's flock, and I like to use it as like moss. And then I also have stuff that's called static grass, and I was thinking, well, maybe we could do the base with some little mushrooms and crystals sticking out of the base, and static grass and moss growing up the side of her and on the top, and some little mushrooms on the top of her. And then, of course, she's a light piece. She'll be holding on to her little bing, her little light. You know? What do you guys think about that idea? It's quite the piece. Like, it's one of those things. It's going to be a substantial. It takes up a, whoa, shit. Takes up a big spot, but it's going to be special. And I think somebody will want little Bing when she's all done. So yeah, so I went when I had to go to the Home Hardware and get stuff for you guys this morning. And this is what I'm thinking now. That is it's like a flat, dark forest green, right? So Bing could be, I'm thinking her robe have that as the base color, and then go from there. And there's things you can do. You can hit it with a light hit with copper, and make it kind of look like shimmery in spots. If any of you guys are familiar with my other videos, my makers videos, I hope you check them out. They're in there. I'm talking about the watchers, and there is one playlist that is the watchers. And the forest watcher that I did is in these kinds of colors. Like I started with more of a teal green, and then I hit it with brass and copper and like lightly, you know, so it has this weird shimmer. And the Forest Watcher is actually coming out of a base that has the static grass and the flock. And it looks pretty cool. So I don't know. But I always thought with the Forest Watcher, I always look at that and I'm like, I should have had crystals sticking out in little spots. I should have done this, I should have done that. You know, when the real estate is yours and you are the creator, don't have shoulda-dones. Don't have the shoulda-dones. Because when you have the shoulda-dones, and then later on you're like, yeah, I got the shitty runs now of the shoulda-dones. You don't want shitty runs of the shoulda-dones. Holy smokes. He's a poet. And he damn well know it. Anyways, I went to the... I'm sorry. I'm excited. I went to the hardware store this morning. I did find a plug with an inline switch. And the inline switch is that bad boy there. That makes your job a lot easier. You know? The inline switch. And I know how to put them in. And it's not like scary or hard. What you basically do is you find out what wire is hot. And that's by finding the smaller prong in your plug. Okay? Frick around, man, with the lights, eh? So you find the smaller one. And then that's the hot wire. And then you look, and a lot of the times, I would say 9 out of 10 times, they put the writing on the side that is the hot water. There's like a hot wire. There's always writing on these wires, and it's 9 times out of 10, it's on that hot side. So what you do is where you want to put your plug, you make a little slit in the middle here, pull them apart, you cut the hot wire, okay? And then you make it bare on either end so that you make the wire bare. You pull off a little bit of plastic on either side, okay? And then inside of this little switch, there's 2 little screws. And so you just attach your little wire ends to that screw and then screw it back together. And then what it does is it creates, when you click it, it creates ding so that the circuit works. And then when you click it off, it goes ding, ding, dong. Very, very easy, but I don't like putting them in. It's one of those things. It's even like the little screws are even so tiny that I've lost a little screw before. I went on a god frickin' tirade. Ugh, one little screw. Okay, So I got the cord with the inline switch, and then I got this. And that, when I'm rounding off and I say I get the chandelier size socket, the E12, that's what that is. And again, I should have probably had that for you guys, the light. I'm sorry, but I don't like it when I don't need it. I like this. This is my cozy. What else do we got? We got LaRue's on deck, you guys. LaRue is always here. He takes care of the music around here, and he's my little protector. Other things that I want to talk about here. Since we got a couple people here now, I want to talk a little bit about my brother's art. Now, a lot of you guys are aware that I'm part of Two Brothers, One Vision. And, you know, it's you see it everywhere. It's like, well, you know, the symbol and stuff, our symbol, it's on the wall here. That's our personal logo, right? That's Two Brothers, One Vision. So I do a lot of weird stuff, and also my brother is like a copper magician. He recycles copper. He does all sorts of amazing things. I hope Darren's still here. He needs to hear this. Darren is just truly amazing with copper. And there's a beauty about this because it comes from the discarded. It all started when he was working in a Weyerhaeuser mill, and he was like head of like the nighttime cleanup crew. And it was crazy in there. Like, there's so much going on and shit. Lots of times electricians would just go piling through, do their job, do what they gotta do, leaving all sorts of copper and stuff scrap. And tools and stuff too. He used to come home with all sorts of stuff, and it was all discarded stuff. And so he started making art with that. And it's so amazing, man. And he went from just using the wire, stripping it, and then using singular wires to wrap bottles. And one bottle, like, he just wrapped as he got the material. So a bottle, like, took, like, he could work over a year on that bottle because he has to get the materials as it comes. And just doing stuff, upcycling and recycling things and giving it a new life has a real magic about it. And it's a big part of what Two Brothers, One Vision is. You know, our blung jewelry, our keys mostly, and old tokens and things from the past that are cool. Even dog tags, like pet tags I'm talking. We'll even use those in necklaces with a little key, you know? Upcycle things on ball chain. I use the ball chain I do my best to get from the old service ball chains from the army. Well, that ball chain is still out there in bags and bags of it. And so I find that. And so I upcycle that and then put our stuff on the ball chain. And that's blung. That's how blung started. But there's a lot of forms of blung. There's copper blung, like I'm wearing here. And this is one of my brother's. This is arrowhead. It's the sign of the warrior. This is like a symbol of strength. And I love this. And that's a really, really good example of my brother's magic. And what I want to talk quick to the tribe about. Now, Christopher's Creations is going to be getting a package from Two Brothers, One Vision, and I'm being very open about what we're going to possibly send. I just told him we're going to talk more about it. Now, this I've been thinking about for a long time. This is one of my brother's original style. Is one of his trees. Now he'll use this for Christmas ornaments and other things. We've called it the Tree of Life before. We've called it the family tree. But now, since it's everything with the wood carving group and all of you have come into our lives, I've thought a lot about this tree and how it represents tribe and family and the pack, you know? Now, Darren, this one here is a special one that I've always just kept. I've just always loved that one. But when he does up a piece, like he makes the handmade hook, and then he rigs like beautiful, beautiful antique check beads. And then look at this. This is his treble clef. Out of like 4 gauge, I believe. Look at that stuff, eh, guys? So Darren can make the tribe, the tribe tree. And when it's rigged, it can have like the gem above it with the big homemade hook. It would just be it just dawned on me, like, yes, he can use the sails as all artists do, but it's more just the idea of it is what's really like, yes, Darren needs the sales, but also just the idea of the tribe members having those in their home, and it represents our tribe. I just think that's really, really magical. And Chris, I wanted to show you, like I mentioned that we were wanting to maybe send you something. So that's one of his treble clefs. And then also, you know, like, this one's mine. He doesn't really have any of these on deck, but I mentioned that he wanted to send you a pendant. So that's a possibility. And this one represents sing. And it means for you to do what your soul is meant to do. You find that voice and sing. And that's what this stands for. Okay? So, that's a little touch of Two Brothers, One Vision, and the magic that is my brother. I hope he heard all that, because he sure deserves it, man. It's very, very special art. Okay, well, I got that all out of me. Aiden's here, hello! Black Willow Woodworking says, the copper flows, no breaks, just smooth flow. Yes, he has I don't know. I've sat and watched it. He's taught me some things, you know. Like some of you guys are aware that I do the wrapping too. Like the antler crowns that we do for photo shoots and stuff. Those things take a long time. And Darren taught me how to sit and weave. And I can close the space in over thousands of little tiny knots and just movements. And there's no set way. It's almost like spiderweb-ish, but more chaotic, okay? And that's the art that Darren created with this recycled metal from his old job, and he's made lanterns, big lanterns, and the whole idea of his lanterns were based off of like the old magpie nests or crow nests, you know. And crows or ravens that steal sparklies, and you could find treasures inside. But they were always these big balls in the trees, right, growing up. So his lanterns were based off of those. And then we put a little light inside, and that's like the magic that's inside that the ravens have. It's very, very, very special stuff, and all of it has meaning and symbolism to it. Okay, Two Brothers, One Vision's art. Why have it any way else? We're doing this with our precious life energy. You know, there's nothing more valuable than our time. So if you're going to do it, make an art, frickin' make it, man. Do it to it. All right? Woo! Almost got tears in my eyes. Frickin' Jesus, wowie. You're all woo? You're all woo-woo? No, it really means a lot to me. Alrighty. And you guys all mean a lot to me. So I think what better way to have, you know, that tree as, you know, like the tribe tree. The tribe tree by Two Brothers, One Vision. Darren Dib. A Darren Dib exclusive. I just got shit in my eye. Woo! I promise it's not tears. Oh, I got an old, my Dremel batteries down there. My Dremel fan is on, guys. And I still have to go to, I made this, I shouldn't have made it so small. I made a video about my Dremel fan. Basically, I just unboxed it, put a battery in it, turned it on, and said, there you are. But it's good. Like, I hadn't used it yet, right? So, I've been using it for about a week now. One person commented in my video, and I'm sorry I haven't replied yet, but you're in my mind, and you will be until I do it. But I ran an 8 amps per hour battery. I tried to keep it on high the whole time, but my wife kept on turning it down on me, and I apologize. So there is some variance, but most of it, and that thing in total ran about 12 hours on high, if not a little bit longer, because he said, I want to know how long that baby runs on high on an 8 amp per hour. And I said, yes, sir. I'll be back. Yo! Oh, Jane says, Darren, you need to figure something out with birds. With it being that time of year for graduation, it would be nice to give something to new graduates. Fly little bird. Darren makes hummingbirds, Jane. Darren has hummingbird ornaments. So Darren is the copper king, I call him. And what he does out in his little what we call the underbelly, man, he's in there by himself, you know, using what he has left, because our bodies are shot. He's using what he has left to make this stuff. And everything's made in pain. Okay. I love you, brother. Yeah, I got more shit in my eye. Frick sakes. Okay. I'm alright. Hi, Tim Lest Creations. How you doing? Yes, for hope we have a hook chain. It's like a fish hook with a little barb on it, and that's our symbol for hope. We have something for basically we have a leaf for grow. Oh man, we have the hook for hope, the treble clef for sing, the arrowhead for strength. We have a small feather, and it's we assign a word for each, and it's soar. So the feather would also work for the graduates. We kind of got all the special things covered. Yeah. Dad Carves is here. Full house tonight. Yes, we do. Hello, Amy Jo is here. I love you too, Amy Jo. Holy smokes, do I ever. Yes. Okay, I got that all out. I'm going to do a little cleanup here. So maybe we can like zoom in on old Bing here and figure out what we're going to do with her. That was a long ramble, but I appreciate it, guys. It's really important stuff. It's really important stuff that I'm talking about here, as you just saw. Okay, now for Bing. Does the light help her? How about this? Is that better? Maybe putting her back a bit. It just looks so... Well, when I start working on her, I'll do this a little bit farther down, set it up a bit better, okay? But I'll just talk about what my plan is right now. Well, first, on the back of this fricker, and I've been rubbing it with my hand and stuff, and I can tell like there's bumps. A bit too far there. Just a sec. I can feel that there's bumps and lumpies on the back of this, and so it's not perfectly flat. So I will be taking the old orbital sander to that, because that'll screw me right up. If I'll put little feet on it, right? Because we have to accommodate the light cord. You feel me? Bing! Oh, also, you guys, I look at these things through every angle and overanalyze everything, because I have like OCD. But look at that cheek. You see how this cheek here comes out a lot farther? Has to be fixed. Has to be fixed. Frickin' driving me nuts. And so I'm going to work on that a bit today. I think I mentioned to you guys that she has weird cracks all through her because she's a burl, right? And so I kind of got her to a point where I was like, okay, the vision is there. Don't F with it anymore because these little cracks keep forming. And if you see her lip, I've already fixed all that and filled all that with glues. And so, I can't mess with her too much. And there's these little cracks that are kind of forming as I'm sanding on this cheek. So I'm going to sand it down a little bit, but I'm not going to go crazy, but I just don't want it to punch out as far, like so much farther as the other one. I know it might be weird, but that's the kind of crap that bugs my mind and my eye. So, bing, it's going to have a little bit of a cheek job. And I was looking in the mouth, and there's a big crack in there. And I was telling you guys, I might just... So if we paint her, and my wife helps me, we'll just paint the little tongue in there. And I'll just clean it all up in there and stuff so it's nice and smooth. But I'm going to have to fill... There's a crack in there. So I'm going to have to fill that crack too before she gets painted. So many frickin' things. And so today I'm thinking, well, frick, I got off track. Right here is a hanger. And it's throwing everything off. So, what do you do with hangers like that? Well, they're frickin' you mad. I'll show you what I do. Take a flathead screwdriver. And you just go next to where those little nails were. Put it in your hanger. Twist it away. Like that. Just put it here. Twist it away. Twist it away. And that thing will pop right off. And I could even save that little one, but I got quite a few of those ones. And this one will now. There we go. Jeez. Making me a liar on live TV. And so that's off now. Let's flip her back over. See? Well, it's not rocking so crazy, so we might not have to sand too much down there. That's good. That's good. Is this view going to be okay while I'm working? And then I can just zoom it back out. I'll tilt it a bit for you guys, but... Tark's here! Hello, sir! Hey, Aiden just got home getting comfy so I can get focused on the live. Okay, everybody get cozy. Oh yes, Aiden and the bong idea. He wants that baby to be a bong too. Right now I could. Maybe I'll have a puff in her. Before I wire her all up and glue her to this base. Just for Aiden, I'd do it. With tobacco. We use a special blend of Vancouver Island tobacco. Breaking no rules. We break no rules. Okay. And what else we're going to do? All through this robe here, we got these folds and stuff of a robe. So I'm just going to go in there with my Kutzall extreme taper, but maybe I'm going to do it in coarse. Now, I'm a Kutzall affiliate, and my links are down in the basement. What I mean by the basement, I mean down in my video description. All of my links, well, it's a link. It's a Kutzall link. You go through that link, and it'll take you to the Kutzall site. And then if you do choose to buy anything, which will help our channel, the discount should be applied automatically, but to be safe, our promo code is DIB5. D-I-B-B. Do I have a marker? Do I even have a marker? DIBB 5. Watch. DIB 5. Capital letters. Because we're meaning business here, guys. I'm just kidding. That's just what I got assigned. I'm going to look into maybe changing it to something more attuned to Two Brothers One Vision, but maybe get 2B 1V. I don't know. But for now, it's DIB 5. You'll get a little discount. It helps us out. So I'm going to use, and also down there, we are also Amazon. It's not an affiliate. It's an associate program. And that's why I have some links to my Amazons. But it's not my Amazon store yet. But they're my links that I provide. And when you go through those links and buy those products, they're all things that we use on the channel. But we'll get a couple pennies. And it all adds up slowly. And it's for the channel. It's just so that we can keep doing this. And then if you can't find, because lots of times the stuff that I'll link down there are out of stock for the country you live in. So I apologize about that. But if you just go through my link and then find something that you do want and buy, and that I'm still associated with that sale in some weird small, weird linkage way. So that helps too. Thank you very much for listening to that. So I'm going to go around here and make sure that all these folds and stuff are rounded on the sides. There aren't any right angles in. Very, very little in nature. I don't like, you know, sharp edges and right angles and stuff. Always soften them when you're wood carving, especially like a Woodspirit face. There aren't no right angles, so just, you know, when you cut in the nose and stuff, just all of those cuts always round them, and you'll have a lot better time. Okay. Jeez. Wrecking the place, wowie. So yeah, I'll get in there. I'm going to carve like I told you. And then I'm going to sand them with the old Pete Blair sanding mandrel turned on low on a Black & Decker RTX rotary tool. Why did I use that? Is because I liked the low setting. I got one once in a Carving Fusion draw. Thank you very much, Jordy. And I used it as my sanding machine, and then I always use it on its low setting, and then she's run great. So I just stuck with it. It's just a cheap Black & Decker RTX. I do have, my brother gave me a Dremel 3000 on deck in the box, but I'm weird that way. I love having one on deck in the box. I don't want to use it. It's like our granddad. He would find something. Doesn't matter the price, you know, when he was buying, you know, equipment, he went for the good stuff. But if he found something that was really, really good, he'd have 2 or 3 backups on the shelf because they're tried and true. Shout out to you, Grandpa Sater and Mum. Okay, I'm going to put on some PPE. That'll be the stuff you don't see. I'm just putting Darren's thing along. I'm going to put my arrowhead underneath my shirt. You don't want jewelry getting caught up on your your rotary tool. So go in with the Kutzall, sand with the Pete. You're going to hear some noise, guys. Please talk amongst yourselves. I really appreciate y'all being here. This is going to be another project where it's our project. We all had part in it. You feel me? Okay, I'm just going to tilt this a tiny bit more. Sorry for the car sickers. I don't want to make you car sick by bouncing it around. My wife would be like, scroll, goodbye. Car sick. You made me car sick. I'm out. And I use a dust collector. This is a box that my father-in-law, Mr. Randy, made with me, and I will never change it. I will make this thing work for me until my dying day, because it's special. And it's connected to a King Canada dust collector that runs through a Juanita dust collecting cyclone. And all together is one hell of a system. Wow, we approved. All right. Here we go. My goodness. Okay. Back here. Well, I went till the glasses got foggy. We went till the glasses got foggy. Oh goodness. And a little bit of a fucking take that pain and make something. Ugh. Okay. Well, sorry about that, guys. Is this better? Get a little. You know, I got other colors over here. Let me see. Green. Ooh. What about up here? Some blue. Maybe just some regular light. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Man, I get distracted. Down the rabbit hole I fly. So I fall, I mean. So, good, went around there. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that rounding and what I'm doing, right? By the time she's done. But you guys don't need to see all that. But it's good that you watch, a portion of it. And just see, how I go through it. Started at one side, went around, as you saw, laying on the side of that burr, making her work. And yeah, it almost becomes, because I'm a pencil artist, right? I draw. I've always drawn. Is that the word? I've always drawn my whole life. And when I discovered power carving, like my first Woodspirit I did from a Doug Linker video, and I whittled that with with this, a blue X-Acto knife, and some sandpaper. And that was my first Woodspirit, and it turned out pretty good. I actually, the man who gave me, my uncle gave me this. He sent me a moose rack for us to use in art. And I haven't used it yet because it's so special. I'm waiting. But it's a really, really old antique moose rack. And I've had ideas of using a foundling rack, in photo shoots that we do when we make deer antlers and stuff. Well, I've thought of using the moose antlers as wings. But it's a hard thing to rig. And so we're still thinking about that. But I'm thinking about putting the moose antlers on a stand that the model can stand in front of. Anyways, the wood that I made my first Woodspirit with came from the crate that my uncle sent me that wood rack in, and it was made out of 90-year-old pine, the 2x2s. And so I took apart that crate because he screwed it together just to send that. My goodness, what a nice thing, man. Those are the things in life, guys. Those are the things. And it kind of fuels why I try my best. If I get an idea, like I should give somebody that, or I should get that for somebody, I try and follow through, man, because those things really, really matter in this life in the end. Okay? So yeah, that was my very, very first Woodspirit. Now, the reason why I started this ramble is because the second one was, I found Carbon Fusion. And I went right back to Jordy's very, very first ones, and how to carve a Woodspirit for beginners. I went right back to the very beginning of his videos so that I could watch each one. And I hope folks that are listening will do that too for this channel, because I've made some really, really cool makers videos that are way back there that are just sitting in the dust, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting. And if a couple of you guys go down there and then, like binge watch my old stuff, maybe the algorithm will be like, blah, 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 blah. That's how it works. Bing, 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 blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's the algorithm. So, once I found Carbon Fusion and how to power carve a Woodspirit, it was like an extension of that pencil that I've always had in my hand, and it was just like a true light went off deep inside my soul, and it was like, I know this, This is for me. I know this, and I've never turned back. That's how I got into power carving. It was home when everybody was on lockdown, and I was going crazy because I couldn't work with my brother, and so I started looking on YouTube. And you know what? I would like to say this about so many people in our tribe now. So many people are here because of kind of the same circumstances. I'm, living with chronic pain. When you're home alone, if you can't find purpose, and that's why Two Brothers One Vision, that's why our motto is for therapy, purpose, and family, art. And that's why, is because it literally are those things, but also figuratively. And so many of the tribe are made in pain warriors. They're here too because they live with their own issues. And you have to find things for your mind to do, man. You have to keep making. Where idle hands are the devil's workshop. And I've been to the devil's workshop, and I fucking got out. And I'm here now. Okay? Tribe strong. Tribe strong, Amy Joe. R.C. Peters says, made in pain. You frickin' know it. You know it, buddy. Rhinestone has to go. Goodbye, Suzanne. Thank you for being here. Sorry I couldn't talk more. Sorry I rambled so much. Thank you for coming, Suzanne. Have a great night, sister. Keep shining. We're a family of souls, says so. Yes, we are, sister. We truly are. But yeah, I found that Flexshaft, man, and it was kind of like, I kind of like see it as like a magic wand, you know? The things that I've made with this magic wand is pretty neat, man. You know, never turn back. It was meant to happen. And I mean that fully. So, next, as far as being is concerned, I did do some of our cheek. You can see that there's less. It was a lot higher before. So that's a bit better. That's making my brain a little bit happier. The old OCD. And then also in her robe here, and I did this with the watchers too. I wanted it to be like, I wanted a shadow in there. Like there is a bit of one here, so maybe I shouldn't mess with it. But I'm probably going to go in there deeper with a small Carbide burr. A small Carbide ball. One of those little bad boys. And these are in my Amazon links down below in the basement. And yeah, I'll go in there just to do an undercut. And you just kind of, I might even go to a smaller one, the Dremel 106. It's a smaller version of this ball. They make them graduated in like 106, 107, and then the big guy is 192, I believe. But yes, they make the Carbide ball cutters in different stages of sizes, and they're really, really important to have in your arsenal. Like, I don't know if you were here last time watching, but all of this new robage I cut in with that fat Dremel Carbide. Yeah, see how it's bigger, the ball? That's a darn tootin' right there. It's a darn tootin'. And also, I haven't used it yet. Fuck. Sorry. Allie, I said the F word, I'm sorry. The new Kutzall Fine Detail Rotary Toolkit. If you go to Kutzall down below, you can get yourself one of these. It's an awesome, awesome set. But you see right here, that little ball? That's the smallest Kutzall ball they've made to date. And it's in the flavor of fine. And that is, I just got to start using it, and I get so wound up with having something like that, and like, I got to use it. Can't just sit here and adore it. Jeez, wowie. But yeah, that will come in handy, is what I was going to say. That little one there. So yes, I'm going to go in there. If you see me ricking in here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a little bit of shadow in there. Little shadow play. Shadow is like your secret weapon in carving. And when you can start doing stuff like in here, in her eyes, You go a little bit in and up underneath these little this brow line. You go in and up, and that will cause that little shadow play, and that is just, that's what you need. That, when you start making that work with you, great things come. Utilizing the shadow play. So I will probably go in there, because I've been sanding this down. I want to deepen that one again, because I've been sanding that cheek down, right? So we got to deepen that little tiny. But you can make wood spirits like that too, right? You don't have to carve eyes into wood spirits, like the actual eye mound and the eye slit and stuff. You can do it this way, and you just carve in and up, you carve in and then up at a bit of a kind of like a 45, and then you create the wood spirit with those deep eye pocket socket thing, and that's really cool. And that I can show you right here. You see that? That's a Geordie Johnson. And see how he just went in underneath the brows and up? It creates that shadow play. And it's a great way for beginners to get into wood spirits before you're confident enough to do the eye mounds and do the eyes. I have the very first wave of wood spirits from myself and Two Brothers One Vision, because when I carve and then Darren adds copper. So when we do a true collaboration, what I call a true collaboration, it's carving in copper, and that's freaking awesome. But yeah, our very first little wave of ones that we did, all of my wood spirits are done that way, and it's just because I wasn't confident enough to do the eyes, and they were looking neat, and so I just kept on doing it to it. That's why I'll have you guys here, right here on deck. I got the round to it, so there ain't no excuses in my life now, right? Once you get one of these, and as you see, that's our logo, like our magic Batman sign. That stands for some major important things, that logo. But the round to it, that's dedicated to our grandparents. They had one on their fridge, and we were just mesmerized by that. And I even remember specifically the day that I asked my grandma about what the deal was with that, because it really caught my eye. It was like, this is the official certified round to it, and it had the whole thing, and it had like filigree around it and stuff, and it was older, like in the 60s, I believe, that newspaper clipping came from, and that was on her fridge. And it always just was like this magical thing, and my grandma was like, well, you know, when Grandpa's procrastinating and saying, I'll do it when I get around to it, well, there's a round to it. And once you get them, then there ain't no more excuses, right? That's the round to it. Yeah, so that's why I did that. I found a guy on Etsy, and he uses laser burner, but I want to get them made with better hardware. I just want more before I start to think about selling them. I've given them to close friends and family, and if you got around to it, you're special. Okay, how are we doing? We got 21 likes. Hey folks, hit that. Oh, Matt's here. Matt Carves. Christopher's Creations is here. Still. Amy Jo says, I like no-eyed wood spirits personally. I agree. There's something about them. There's something about them, sister. Hello, Matt. Thanks for coming, man. Good day, and get on, you mate. Are you fighting any fires? Sorry, I don't do a good New Zealand. I used to run with an Australian, though, and we got into a lot of trouble together. Larry and Mick. My boss loves my round to it, says Robert. That's awesome. Amy Jo's got around to it. Much love, sister. Matthew, I have a couple in the drawer somewhere. You got a couple round to it. Whoop whoop. Jane says my grandparents had those. Awesome. Carve Odin, one eye only. Yes, those are cool. Matt can carve anything and all. Matt carves. Yeah, if I could do that link thing and put it up in the links, I don't know how to do that, but my mods have to do that. But Yeah, if people are watching, you can go through the carving wizard. I don't have one. Oh, Perry, I might have to dig around and see, because you got a box coming, sir. And I'll just tell you now, when you get your box, you might not even think about the round to it. But if I can find an extra one, I'll do it. They're like 10 for 75 Canadian off the Etsy dude. Okay, well, I wanted to show you guys something else too. Something cool, a little bit more show and tell. Where is it? There we go. So, my wife and I, and it's rare that she'll ever let me go to a garage sale, because right now she's the only one driving, so of course she's got a hold of the wheel, and we go past the garage sale, and I'm like, "How many? You see what it is? They had wood." Want to see that one again? Oh, okay, what? They had wood. That's how that goes. Ow. So I never get to go, but this time she stopped, and look at this, man. All of the nails are like squared, old school. They're decorative. I know that they're not like 1800s style, but this old wooden box, look at the end. Look at the end cut. The rings. Isn't that neat? And it had this red velvet inside, and when I got it home, it was peeling from like all of this edge. It was peeling off, and you could see down there. And when I got it home, I was like taking off my shoes and stuff, and my cat, Noni, Lola, come running over. And she's the most curious cat ever. And she smelt in there, and then she looked up like this, and then she did that thing that cats do. After they smell something bad. She did that. So I was like, frick that, man, there's something wrong with that. And it kind of reminded me of a Dybbuk box. Scary. If you know what a Dybbuk box is, you know. So I ripped that out and threw that away, and it was like dust came out too, man. Can't believe I breathed that in. Anyways, so I got a couple different ways of getting in those corners and sanding that glue off and stuff in there. I think, like, I don't know, like, it's just got this dark black on it. Like, I'm such a lover of wood and woodwork. I'm thinking, like, I like the nails being black. Maybe I'll just put, like, painter's tape around them and then just go at it with a sanding mandrel and get the wood popping again. But you know what this will be? Because you guys know about my Blung jewelry, our Blung jewelry. I want to make this like the box when I make, because I make Blung for our tribe and I send it out and stuff. And whenever you get a package from me and you got Blung, that stuff is special. You assign what that key or token, you assign something to them. A job. This is my key to love. This is my key to happiness. This is my key to success. This is whatever it is. That's up to you. That's why I write on the tag, Blung. What does yours stand for? So this is going to be like the special, the Blung trunk. And when I gotta go to get the key for that special tribe member, we'll go over here, we'll open it up, and I'll have all of them in here, and we can dig around and find one, and it'll be part of the show. I think that's a really cool upcycle idea for that treasure. You know what? $2. $2 frickin'. It sat there. They said that it sat there all day. Nobody even gave it no attention. Jesus. Oh, you guys are talking about birthdays. Holy smokes, Robert's going to be 62 in a week. Happy birthday in a week. Is it your birthday, Perry? Amy Jo's got to go start dinner. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you very much for coming, sister. And I hope you liked the stuff that you came in your box from your winnings. Much love to you. Got a little some extra in there because she's such a great supporter to everybody in the tribe. Much love to our sister Amy Jo. Okay, not yet, but it's coming next Friday the 20th. Well, maybe I can go the next Friday. What day is it today? Wednesday. WIP Wednesdays. Waka waka. With a forgetful Wowie. Wednesday. So it's next. I can have your box ready and sent by then. I can't say it'll be delivered, Perry, but I will make sure I get that sent before your birthday. Okay? Because I really want it to be with you. You'll understand when you get it. So yeah, that'll be fun, you know. Sand that off. Get the wood popping. I don't know what color. I don't think I think I just want those, like the grains look like it's like it looks like somebody Shosugi banded. Hey? So I want that to come alive again. That's gonna be the special box for the keys. And it'll just be like on Mr. Dress Up. You go to the special tickle trunk and you get the special key. Okay. I'm glad I got that over with. Also, I've been working on this. Check him out. Oh, folks. I might even do a little sanding on this today before I go. But Spike and I were talking. So this is for the Steampunk Challenge for Carbon Fusion. He's going to have hardware in here. Dead man tell no tales is the message. It's a flaming skull. Thank you, Matt. Matt says it'll look magical, that box. Thank you. I'll just be happy just to get it. You're impatient. Okay, thank you, Perry. You'll understand when you get it. The Carving Wizard says, oh, that's gorgeous, says Cat's Piece. Hey, Tribe, hello, Cats. Thank you for coming. Creation Dust is here. Hello. How you doing, man? Your carve was just amazing again here, sir. As all of your art is. Just like Matt. So yeah, me and Spike were talking. I still have to take a bit of this back edge back here down. But Spike and I were talking, and I still had, it was still, oh, actually it was this side. Had a big hump to it still. Because remember, like I kind of carved this way into it. There was a lot more driftwood on this section. And at first I was just like, yeah, well, that's just the way it is. Because I'm using the asymmetry. But as I carved and stuff, it became more apparent that being more symmetrical down here would be in its favor. And Spike and I were talking, and he's like, bro, and he like took a picture, a screenshot of this, and then drew it up, and then hit edit, and then he like drew right here on the whole section that needed to come out. And he's like, the thing is so awesome, but just between me and you, brother, this section is throwing it off. And I'm just being honest with him. I said, thank you, sir. Because if that is, throwing off somebody else's eye, because it was in my mind, I ripped out here, fired up the Fordham, gone. Gone and out of my thoughts. So now, I don't know, I might even take these sections out. But it's really, really deep, right? So I don't know yet, but it's way more symmetrical now. And now it's not like, it's not nagging at your mind, like we're pulling at your eye in this whole area. So yeah, been working on that too, guys. In the background. Turning pain into purpose. That's what we do here. Hit that like button. We got 26 people watching still. We got 23 likes. The old algorithm needs it. Yes, I was, thank you. That turned out awesome. Wow, he says Cat's Piece. Thank you very much. Yes, Creation Dust. Well, thank you. Well, Amy Jo just put up my Kutzall link, guys. Please use that. Help a brother out. They're really good tools. Even if you don't care about helping out Wowie, get yourself some good tools. Get yourself some good tools, mate. You deserve it. Come on now. Thank you, Amy Jo. Yes, Creation Dust 6777 is a truly gifted chainsaw carver all around, just wood carver. You guys, go to his channel. I'm actually a member. And I did that because, and I did it to Matt Carves too, and I want to try and do it my best for, I want to sign up for Amy Jo's too. because they're my friends that have the membership ability, right? And I just want to. It's just my way of saying I'm behind you. I'm cheering you on, even if I can't be there every day. You know, under the videos and stuff, I am there in spirit, and I support you. You're welcome, sir. You deserve it. Absolutely wonderful people they are, says Amy Jo. Yes, they are. The tribe is a magical, magical family, man. A magical, magical family. And this is going to start being seen out there to represent that family. You see that, Josh? It's one of my brother's specials, very, very special copper. You're very welcome, Matt. You deserve it. You really deserve it. But yeah, the tribe tree coming soon. All right. Well, what time is it? Holy, 3:15. Holy smokes! Jeez, man. The time a person can kill. Rambling and a jambling. Well, what else? What I should, let me think here. I'll go in there with that carbide ball, create some of that shadow pop I was talking about around the robe. I'm going to do some more sanding. I want all those edges. And there's some bad maker's marks too, right? I don't like, even though if it's getting painted and stuff, it's hard to see them, but there's like maker's marks running across there and stuff from when I went and did the initial, like when you go in and kind of block stuff out, the initial cuts and stuff are all ragged and jagged, right? And then this section here I fixed with, that's all fixed with 2-part wood epoxy because it was rotted. Yeah, oh yeah, and then look at this, because Creation Dust wasn't here. The old 70s. Hey, the old 70s clock. My brother gave me this. A free pile find. How's that, Amy Jo? Oh, not Amy, but how's that? Who didn't? Katie doesn't like the garage sales. How's that one for you, Katie? That was a free pile. Jeez. So the shape of it, it's just like it was magically made for being here. And it even goes out, like, the spot where her arm comes out even has, sorry you can't, but you see here, the part where the burl comes out is the part where her arm reaches out. And so I could have like a couple little critters or something, or like crystals coming out of the ground, and maybe a couple little mushrooms. And I was thinking maybe some static grass and flocking and maybe little mushrooms growing out the top of her. Because like these things that I make and the Forest Watcher, I make them so that they look like they're part of like Gaia, and they're like kind of coming from the ground. These weird little magical creatures. They're part of the earth. They're part of Mother Nature, let's say, right? They're an extension. So yeah, the fact that this burl just fits this strange shape, and that's a stump with a burl, and you know, that was just sitting waiting. This thing was just sitting and waiting for its purpose. It's just magical how that works out. So yeah, the more and more I look at it, when we finally marry the two, I think I'm going to have to take all of that. I'm going to have to take all that off, you guys. And that's going to be one hell of a job. Because I don't want to lose the burlage. Right? All of that is nice. So if I go in with the sanding mandrels and just work on, you know, the deeper spots in the channels, maybe I can save some of that, but I just don't know. I don't think it's going to go like, I'm not going to make the thing shiny like that in the end. So yeah, that might have to be coming. It's just a day spent stripping that, getting it back down to wood. Sand the bottom, like I told you guys. It has big goops like of whatever Verathate or whatever they used. It's all blobbing and stuff around the edges, so I'll sand all of that off. And then we have to figure out where Aiden's bong hole is, right? On the wood. So what I'll do for that is I'll shove some rolled up paper and make a little plug and put a little tiny bit of black paint at the end. Get her to where I know I want her to be. Gently set it down. And then that little paper plug with the paint will touch. And then just very, very softly pick her up so it doesn't make any smudge. And then that spot will have a little bit of that black paint, like a little circle of paint. And that's the exact spot to do the hole. And that's just a little thing that I figured out on my own. Because, like, how else would you do it? It's one of those things. It's like, until you do that, like making these lamps, lighting up holes can be a real thing. So that's how I'll do that. I'll make out the spot. I'll drill that hole good, and then we can pull the wire. Now, as far as pulling the wire through, what I do is I put a piece of copper in her first, okay? Just like 10 gauge copper wire. I got a bunch of it up there. Just scrap. You put that through it first, and then this end of it here you tape your cord to. No, you do it. I'm doing it backwards. You put the wire through her. This end here underneath, you tape your cord to, right? The cord that's going to be wired to the socket. There's your little socket, and then you pull that wire through, and it'll pull the cord up and through. And it's a really, really easy way to do it. So again, you just put the copper wire up the bottom. At the end of your copper wire, bend it in a loop so it's not digging into the side of stuff. Bend it in a loop so it pushes through really nice. Just a little loop. And then once it's through, then you tape that end of that copper wire to your cord. And then you pull her through. And it works really, really, really well, actually. I've done many lamps, and I've used that method. So, next, I will just do some more work on her. More work with an E. Working. You know, Larry, you working? Or you working? Gotta be working. Working on the rig? Come on, Larry, where you working? I'm a frickin' artist, man. Okay. Wow, he's losing his mind in here, guys. It's getting hot. Let me tell you, my biggest fan is down there, just a pumping. Let me turn her up a little bit. Oh, thank you, little DeWalt. Hopefully that's not. Look at that going, eh? Woo! On the belly. Maybe that's a bit too much. Okay. I'll switch that over to that little carbide ball that I was rambling about. We'll go up there, cut a little bit of shadow up and in there, and then I'm going to do some more sanding, and that'll be all on her, really. Like, well, actually there's a couple more things I could do, because I'm pretty much confident now. There's a hole there. It's like a little tiny worn away spot, but it almost looks like a knot. It's so close to right in the middle of her forehead that I'm going to take a Kutzall ball in fine, like this, and I am going to move that spot like it's just like a millimeter or two off, and I'm going to use that little ball to just move it over, and then there's going to be a tiny crystal shard coming out of the middle of her head. So I might do that part too today, since I'm working on her. And yeah, that'll be next, and that'll probably be it for her for today. But we'll see how we do, because I see so many maker's marks. My goodness. And believe me, like if we're painting her and doing all these finishes to her, it'll stand out, right? When you, especially if you hit it with a solid color, it'll jump out like you wouldn't believe. And you know, it's like that's a big magical part of what I think about the carvings that we do in Two Brothers One Vision. A big thing is the sanding. We are crazy about the sanding, and it's one of those things like, you know, it's a piece of ours when you see it. It's because it's had a god awful amount of sand and everything's super soft, and it's just what I like. It's what I like. Okay. Poor neighbors. My goodness. Oh, spider check. Check that out. Diddling around. No spiders to be found. Put her upside down. Take a look around. No spiders to be found. Oh no! The viewer thing dropped 4 when I started singing that song. Yee-hoo! Look at the comments. Get a drink of water, brother. Drink some water. I will. Oh, you're getting too hot. Yeah, I know. I need some water here. I will carve just a tiny bit, Amy Jo, and then I'll whip out some of the water. I promise. Woo! Ah. There we go. Oh, it's much cooler here now. That little fan's going. Got to crank her up. But it's still not the full. She's about 3/4. Great little fan, man. I'm really stoked about that. Oh, because I don't have to move it. I just go like this. Alrighty. Well, things that make you go, what did I find out doing what I was just doing? I found out that old Bing, in fact, okay, you see right there, that deep, deep crack there? You see how there's a blackness back there? And right here, you see that crack right here in her robe? And that blackness back there? She's hollow in sections. Because wood can do some crazy, amazing things, folks. Let me tell you. So she, especially with burls and stuff, you know, like it's so hard to figure out what happened to this tree. It was cut off here and then grown over and mended itself, which I took away and I drilled it now because it's going to be a lamp. And yeah, just such a strange, like in the forest, I found this thing, the burl was sticking out, this little thing was stumped off. I cut this off with a handsaw at the place called the Quarry down here on the island. And it's a little tiny park. A lot of the island here is like rocky with weird like bonsai-ish kind of trees. We got these trees called arbutus that are really, really crazy and cool to look at. But yeah, I found this in that quarry, and it had been chopped off up here. I can't really remember what it looked like up here, but I chopped all that away, and then I sat with just one of those handsaws, a folding handsaw, and my most patient wife, and it probably took me an hour to cut it off, and it was right at almost ground level. I remember. I think I broke the handle of the saw. I'm bad with things like that. Those kinds of tools, man, I go through them. Because that's what they're meant for. They're meant for hard working. Working with an E. But yeah, and right there, that crack right there. That crack goes into a deep, dark void. So, when you see that, you gotta stop. So I like what I was doing, I was going in there with that carbide ball. You see how I went around there and I got that little shadow to pop? You see? Like, there's just something about that just is a better finish for my mind and my eye. Just having that little tiny bit of shadow play in there. And so I was doing that with the robe. I said, frick it. I'm going to take the carbide, go all the way around, and go deep, deep, deep. So I get some really nice folds, right? Nice and deep. And then that's when I started seeing those little black cracks appear into the void. So I could do a couple things. I could squirt 2-part wood epoxy in those, and then mash it in with my finger, lick, 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 wipe, 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 make it nice and smooth, and fill the voids, because they're going to be painted. Or I just ignore them. I finish my sanding, and in the end it'll just, be the odd little crack here and there. Paint, actually, the paint and whatever we do with static grass and everything else will just cover that. So it's no biggie, but it's one of those things, you just never know what you're gonna find when you start getting in there deep. 'Cause that's what we say in our tribe, right? Carve deep. And I did. All the way to the void. What are we talking about? Casey says all I really deserve is a kick in the pants. Sounds like our wives are kind of the same there, Josh. Happy Curmudgeon Carving says, one thing I noticed with this amazing group of people is you don't just learn from the videos, you learn from the chat. Everybody wants to help everyone. Yes, I totally agree, sir. It sure is cool, eh? It sure is cool, man. This is the coolest gang I've ever been a part of. And I've been a part of some wilding people. It's an awesome place. Double tap the phone screen and that'll give me a like. What do we got? 31 likes already, guys. That's pretty darn good, man, for Wowie. I'm proud of that. Hit the like, says Grumpy. Yes, Grumpy's going to be getting a box tomorrow. I tracked it. So all of the Kindred Spirits, if you're watching, you're part of the Kindred Spirits Wood Carvers group. I can't even talk. I can't believe I cried on live earlier. Anyways, all of them, I have all of the boxes sent. So Robert's, yours is off. Amy Jo got hers today. And I tracked Tim's this morning, and it says delivery for tomorrow. And then Mark Kidd's was sent off yesterday. Yes, yesterday, the final one. So all of those are done. Claire and Wheel sent theirs. Claire sent hers from France. Wheel sent his from the UK. And let's just say, after the donors, like we had donors help us for the shipping fund in this carving challenge. Thank God that they did that, because all said and done, it came to like $334, I believe, was the final total of all of our shipping fees combined, $343, and we raised $371. So we got by the skin of our pants, and there's like $42 remain. So I'm already talking with the admins. Somehow, if I gotta do it out of my own pocket, I will. We're gonna bump it up a little bit and make to say a 50, because I think Kutzall does their gift cards that way, in 25 and then 50. And so we'll get at least one Kutzall gift card, and we were gonna do a special draw for the 8 or 9 people that donated, and that's darn good odds, right? One in 8 or 9. So that's coming. But all the prizes are off now, all done. Admin sent everything off. Now it's in the hands of our very, very trusted and valued postal service that has not gone on strike yet, thank goodness. Well, we appreciate you people out there, the postal service, doing one hell of a job for us folks. What do we got here? Hit that like button. I'm watching your video next, Grumpy. Do you got some videos, Grumpy? Oh, Grumpy just has a new video out. Okay, I'll have to watch that too. Grumpy's laid back carvings. He's really, really great with the little lathes. And making very, very special, cool, ornate, let's say, smoking apparatuses. You know, it's almost like a helpful hand when you're having a puff. He makes really, really cool roach clips. He can make little handles for basically anything, you know, because he can make these awesome little lathe pieces. You're really good, Tim. I'm really proud of you, brother. So yes, if you like that kind of stuff and watching, because he makes it, you know, the overhead down, looking down, and it shows him making it, and how he does it, and how he ties them with sinew and stuff at the end, and the little clip attached, and it's awesome. Check him out. Give him a subscribe. If you're watching and you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe to this channel. We're just gonna give it to you from the heart, man. We even include the heartache and the tears and the triumphs. We share it all with you here, because that's how you truly learn, right? Subscribe to the channel, please. We need the numbers. We need to get rolling. We need to get this snowball going. We're a snowball going down the hill, and we're starting to get moving. We're starting to get her going. All right, guys? And we really appreciate you. Always get our best. You'll always get our best if you subscribe here. And the watcher count, bing, drop by 8. Yo! I love it. Wow! I love all you guys. Steve is here? Which Steve? Oh, my honey's handmade. Hello, sir. How you doing, Steve? Oh, we're back up to 38 again. That's better. How you doing, Steve? Sorry, I have to lose. I always have to figure out the people's first names, you know, in these channels. Lots of Joshes. Haven't seen the electric whittler yet today. That's too bad. He's always welcome here. You're doing great, my honey's handmade. Making a lot of magic, as always. That's awesome. This tribe is just amazing. So we're at 350. I'm going till 2 2 hours, you guys. So we got 10 minutes. If that's okay with you guys. Oh, he is busy while we're on vacation, Electric Whittler. Okay, good. Then I won't feel bad that he's not here watching. Because it's just like, it's like Creation Dust 777 goes first on Wednesday, and then comes old Wowie on the tail end. And then I close it off the Wednesdays. And that's just fine with me. I don't want to get in Josh's way with his channel, so I just wait till he's all done, and then I go on. And it works out good. And you folks sure are loyal friends to watch all of them. I sure are lucky to have you guys. Lots of dust on the laptop. That can't be good. I think I got a duster thing in here somewhere. Oh yeah, back there. I don't want to trip over everything. So yeah, that's the day of working on old. Oh shit! Made some. When you're in there cutting the way I was, the part of the flex shaft that's spinning, that can hit if you're not careful. So the little nut that's spinning there on the flex shaft is marring and hitting Bing on her poor little head. I shouldn't have done that. I did that. And I'm sorry. I'll just stand on that while we're talking. Poor Bing. I love her name too, is like the mobster shows, right? The mobster movies, like Goodfellas. They always use Bing. So they kind of do it like, what the Bing? Give you a little, what, Bing? You like that? Bing! Bing. But this one's a good Bing. This is the good kind of Bing. Not a slap in the head. But sometimes you just need to pull out that one too, right? Sometimes you need a slap in the old head for certain circumstances. You get my drift. Oh, we just dropped 8 viewers with that one. Woo-hoo. I just know I appreciate every person that comes across my channel and watches these lives. It's truly, truly appreciated. But I know that I got a core of watchers there in those numbers that are a family. A very, very special family. Claire! Claire is here, and Baby's Kisses is here. Hello! How you doing, Claire? Yeah. Little Bing. She's a sweetie. And she's gonna be a light piece, holding the light. With hopefully some critters and things around her, and maybe growing on top of her. I got these weird little mushrooms in my head now. So, we'll see what happens. But, and well, yes, Claire too. Look at Claire. Darren gave this to me, and it just so happens to like perfectly fit. And this Bing is such a strange shape and piece to begin with, right? But yeah, sorry, she was a bit slid over there. But the part where her arm reaches out has base underneath it. It's just perfect. Like even a little spot there to put another little mushroom or something down there, peeking up. Because she's a protector, a nature protector. She's kind of like a watcher, but she's just a little baby watcher. Hey, that's kind of a good way of thinking of Bing. She's a baby watcher. And if you guys don't know what a watcher is, go into our videos, the Watcher series, the full series, and check that out. Because they're cool, and they're magical. And in the book, like, when I get these ideas, I derive them from different sources. The fact that my brother and I are Métis Indigenous, we have that blood in us from my dad's side. We have this pull towards all Indigenous things here in Canada, and it goes for the Indigenous in America as well. And all of the old ancient stories and stuff we derive from them, because way as far back as they go, the Ant people are the people that started. You know, like civilization and stuff was started by these visitors. Okay, and it spreads to every continent. The farther you go back, you find stories of these visitors, right? Now, I also am fascinated with the Book of Enoch, and it's kind of like the part of the Bible that most people don't know because it wasn't included in the regular Old and New Testaments. But you can get the Book of Enoch, and it talks of the Watchers, and that's kind of where I got my name from. But in those stories, the Watchers were like fallen angels, and they came with gifts, but some of it was like weapons and stuff. Not good gifts, let's just say, right? But my concept of Watchers are otherworldly beings that come from a source, a God source that we're all part of, because that's what souls are, okay? And the Watchers come from that source, and they're here to protect us and watch us. And they bring gifts of knowledge and for agriculture and farming and stuff. Like, they bring good gifts, okay? And they always have the light. That's the special thing about the Watchers, that even whether it's holding a crystal or holding a light bulb that lights up, our Watchers always have that symbolism in them, okay? So, having that said, the Watchers are usually faceless, robed things that are holding things. And Bing just happens to be a little baby one. That's what I'm saying anyways. Okay, sorry, story over. But yes, Claire, I think that's going to be a perfect base for her. How's the back doing, Claire? I like the contrast, she says. Do you have to go, Claire? Okay. Much love to you. Much love to you. You can stay a little while yet? Okay. Thank you for coming, man. It sure does mean a lot to me. I was just telling them all, Claire, how we got all of the prize winning packages are off now for the Kindred Spirits wood carvers, and we got 42 bucks left or something. But yeah, we'll bump that up and make it so we can make it at least a $50 Kutzall card for them. I think that the back is fizzing. Oh, back's fizzing. I understand fizzing. It's not fun, man. You hold strong, Claire. You guys, Claire got cursed with a back issue. Because I don't wish it on my worst enemy, man. So I've lived with it since 2005. And you want to have true empathy? You live with the pain. And then you understand others fully and truly. And she's going through sciatic pain, shooting down the legs. Everybody out there who knows, who has back issues, understands, man. It feels like it's electrical sometimes. Sometimes it feels like you have burning hot wires down the corners of your legs, down the centers. It sure could be a freaking nightmare, man. Oh, fizzing, he gave me the drugs. Oh, that's even better, man. That's even better, Claire. They gave you some compassion in a pill, right? That's what it is. It's crazy. But yeah, when you can't make it through without you, don't be afraid, you guys. If you're out there, don't be afraid to take help in matters if you need it. Because living with pain can be a true nightmare. That's a sensation, she says. Perry gets back spasms, but nothing like what you all deal with. But that's just it. That's just it, Perry. My hair sure. Oh no, I guess it's not that bad. That's the thing, Perry, is that we all downplay our own pain, right? You know what I'm saying? We're always like, yeah, well, I have this and I have that, but it's nothing like that person, right? But don't. Your pain matters. And you matter. And I just want you to know that. Everybody's pain matters. And Jane says, a pill or a pipe, LOL. Well, lots of the times that these projects are kind of like our pill in many ways, where it can take our attention, right? Like, I'll just babble this. I made it to 2 hours, so I'll just do this last ramble here about carving. is that I have such a hard time conveying to people the gift that carving is for me, because even when I draw or even when I make blung and stuff and do stuff with Darren with the copper and whatnot, I've never had an art form that takes my attention the way that carving does. And a lot of it is because, well, you're working with tools that if you don't pay attention, you're going to have something run up your arm that you don't like. You know, as Jordy says, getting an angle grinder caught in your sweater isn't very nice. Okay? So all of a sudden I'm working with this medium that if you're not totally careful and focused, you'll get hurt right quick, right? So that part of it takes my attention, so I can, like, sometimes it's only for minutes, but there are times when I'm really deep in carving and I got my music on in my noise canceling headphones, which I don't use when I'm carving with you all, but I'm in this zone, right? I'm in this frickin' zone, and for brief amounts of time I forget about the pain, and that in itself is a gift like no other. And that's a huge part of why carving is so important to me. Made in pain, folks. Respect that machine or it bites. That's right. Yes, I meditate every day, cats. I meditate and I manifest. And most importantly, I thank the Creator for my blessings. And that's the most important thing in everybody's day, is when you wake up and you finally get your thoughts to you. Count the blessings and appreciate them. And feel the love for all the people that bring those blessings to you. That's the best way to start off a day. Rick Smith, brother, how you doing? Thank you for popping in right at the end, Rick Smith. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. And I just saw that we got a person by the name of Matthew just subscribed. So I think with that, we're to 555 subscribers, guys. And that's kind of crazy, because I told myself that if I can make it to 555, I can make her. So that's kind of magical with this live. We made her to 555, guys. 555 and beyond. Wow, he's just getting rolling. Thanks for coming, Rick Smith. Well, we made her, guys. 403. 403. We did it. Oh, yeah. Now I need 666, says Tarek. Yes. And when I do, I'll make a reel. Iron Maiden reel. Number of the Beast. To celebrate it. I promise. Watch for it. Happy, but it's not enough. The carving does help. Fortunately, I also sew. That's awesome, Jane. All of the art, all of the mediums matter, right? And then, like, I also have music. And I play guitar and I write songs. I grew up on country. And so that's kind of the route that I come from. The roots that I come from is old country and western. But yeah, it also, you know, when the pain allows for it, I love to dabble in my music too. Blessings to you, Rick. Thank you for coming. That's right. Johnny Cash for me. I'm with you, Perry. That's what Johnny Cash is old country and western. And then he just took over. Thank you all for coming. Claire, I'm thinking of you. You get through this. I know you can do it. Look up Terry Lee Goffey. Okay, I will. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. I'll be back here next Wednesday with a whole shit more load to say and a whole bunch to show ya. Sorry for swearing, Allie, if you watch this. Sinatra. Yes, Sinatra is another one. Good night, Perry. Awesome Live, says Grumpy. Thank you, sir. Hey, there is no YouTube without you. That goes to each and every one of you watching. And if you're watching this later, thank you for being here. Please subscribe. Check out my links in the basement. Find all the tools that we use. Love you too, sister. Grumpy's laid back carvings. Watch for the mailman tomorrow, brother. I can't wait. Forever in blue jeans. Yes, Chris Hulse. Forever in blue jeans. Forever in blue jeans, baby. And with that, folks, good night. Wowie out.